What's up guys, it's Alex here again with another video. Today we're replacing the wheel bearing on a 2014 Nissan Rogue Select. Now, the wheel bearing is one of the more important, vital parts of your car. It's what your axle attaches to that transfers power from the engine to the wheels. And in our case, we've got a bad wheel bearing. You can hear it vibrate and make all kinds of noise. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that. Come along with me, I'll show you how. So step one, Alright, now once you get your vehicle jacked off the ground, you want to make sure to use a jack stand and not hold the vehicle up with the jack, because the jack could lose pressure. Just like that. Now we'll take off the wheel. That's how they do it in NASCAR. So here you can see our wheel hub assembly. Now, the part that we're replacing is this right here. So you can kind of see the studs here. So to get to that part, we have to take off this nut and the caliper and the disc brake. So we're going to do that next. And it's just that easy to take it off. Then this retaining nut will come off. Take the axle nut off of it. We're going to take off these nuts and bolts here that hold the steering knuckle to the shock. Step 13, you can go ahead and take the fender off to get better access. Here our ABS line doesn't get tangled up, and what that'll do is give us access to these 4 bolts that hold the wheel bearing in. But before I do that, I'm going to take off the ABS sensor because I don't want it to have strain on that cable. Listen to all that noise. And like I was saying, we want to hammer around the edges here, so we're gonna give it a couple taps here and see how it moves. Just like that. Now this next step, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It's a lot like life in general, you know? So we pulled out that old broken part. Maybe for you, that's a girlfriend. I don't know. Clean the part that it's gonna go into. You know, you gotta get yourself right before you mess someone else's life up too. And you know, Charlotte, if you're still out there, I miss you. Anyways, now we're gonna put the new bearing in to its receptacle here. What we can do then is take our bolts. I'm afraid Jack's touched me. You know, this kind of reminds me of life. You know, it's there to make sure the bolts don't back out and cause some catastrophe. With people, you know, blue thread locker is kind of like communication. You know, if you don't have effective communication, well, stuff gets loose over time, and before you know it, the wheels can fall off. Not that it's anyone's fault, but it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And now I'm using what's called an impact wrench to set these bolts in place. You shouldn't do this because, you know, I've been in the field for 37 years. About 1.47 Ugga-Duggas. I'll show you what that looks like here. No, not this part. You know, I also realized that water can also ingress through the bolt holes of the fender itself. All right, now just for comparison's sake, we're gonna listen to the new bearing as opposed to the old bearing. Remember the sounds that made. No noise at all. You know, I'm reinstalling these bolts and nuts that hold the steering knuckle to your shock here, and you know, it kind of reminds me of life, how you know, you've got this strong bolt that's holding the load. Well, you also have this retaining nut, and you know, without the nut, the bolt does you no good, and without the bolt, well, the nut can't do anything. And you know, it's kind of that way in life. You know, two people, it's not so much 50-50. It's really 100% and 100%. You know, like this bolt and the nut, they both have to do 100% of their job. And you know, I could have swore I was. All right, guys. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about something that means a lot to me, and that's today's sponsor, BetterHelp. You know, BetterHelp is the leading online purveyor of counseling, and you know, I hear you, I get it. You know, Alex, I don't need counseling. I'm a guy. I can work on stuff myself, and you know, I'll just say our ABS sensor. Now, this sensor is very important. This is the most important part. It controls the braking performance of your car. So if you just see right in here, it's going to slip in that hole in a very specific way. It'll only go in one way, so you got to make sure you get it right. Just remember what the torque spec on this was. Brake caliper rotor on. Put that rotor on before you go to put that caliper in, because you can only do it one way. You got. Ooh. Really, that's about it. Your new wheel hub is installed. Now we'll put the wheel back on. I hate these. I mean, how in the world are you supposed to get this started? It doesn't have a flange in it, so you can't put it in a socket. And just like that, you've got a brand new wheel bearing in your 2014 Nissan Rogue Select, arguably the pinnacle of modern transportation in the Nissan era. So the next thing we're gonna do is take this for a drive, make sure it all works. All right, guys, so we just got back from our test drive. Everything checks out. Nice and quiet, no more vibration, no more noise. That's a job well done. And as always, don't forget to click that like bell in the subscribe description, and look out for our next video. We'll see you next time.